Today marks 1 year since the deadly attack on the U.S. Capitol. So far, 700 people have been arrested in connection to the attack. And in just a couple of hours, President Biden will address the nation. CBS 4's Laura Podesta is live on Capitol Hill with what we can expect later this morning. Laura, good morning.
Good morning, Maribel. So later today, President Biden will be addressing the nation and placing blame on former President Trump for misleading his supporters about the results of the 2020 election. Those misconceptions persist today. There was a recent poll that said that 2/3 of Republicans believe that fraud helped Biden win. That is a claim that has been discredited.
Lauren, tell us more about what will be happening today to remember the victims of the insurrection.
There are a number of events happening both here in D.C. and nationwide. So let's start on the Hill, where on the House floor, Nancy Pelosi will be holding a moment of silence. Then members of the House will be giving their testimony about what they experienced exactly 1 year ago today, what they were feeling, what they saw. Meanwhile, Republicans, Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene, will deliver a Republican response to January 6th. I do want to mention there will be hundreds of pro-democracy vigils happening nationwide. There will also be several vigils in support of the protesters who were here bombarding the Capitol 1 year ago. Many of those vigils will be held at the jails where they're being held.
Lauren, yesterday in a speech, Attorney General Merrick Garland alluded to the fact that there's much more to come regarding the prosecution of January 6th. So what did he say?
You know, he did not give a timeline as far as when the investigation will be over, only that they're looking into a number of people that hindered the transfer of power, who tried to discredit the counting of the votes and the democratic process as a whole. So he didn't say exactly when we will find out that things are complete and the number of people who will be charged is finalized. What he did say is this entire investigation is being driven by facts. It is not being driven by politics, as so many people are criticizing.
All right, Laura, thank you so much. Laura Podesta, live from the U.S. Capitol.